Hey, welcome to our new moons. Chakra's having new moon intentions for this month. So welcome, welcome. I'd love to just tune in a little bit, okay, so we can leave the what was behind and come into what is. So I invite you to rub your palms, deepen your breath. As you rub your palms, feel the heat that you create, a reminder of the life within you. Hear the sound of your hands. Very physical presence, your earthbound earth suit for your soul. Then let your hands rest on your body, one on heart, one on low belly. Close your eyes or lower your gaze. And feel your breath breathe you. This beautiful breath requires no effort. But when we turn our attention to our breath, we become more grounded in the body. We can become more intentional with the way we feel in our body and in our space. And breath, of course, the element of air that is usually placed in Anahata in the heart chakra. And it provides an expansion and contraction of our lungs that surround the organ of our heart, like two wings of an angel expanding and contracting, reaching out, drawing in, which is also the activity of the heart. We reach out with love, we draw in with love, we give and receive in balanced amounts. If you allow it, your breath can help you tune in to the rhythms of the earth around you, the breath of the earth, the wind, the seasonal change. She has a pulsation. So I invite you here over the next few breaths to combine the breath of your heart with the breath of the earth beneath you. Just create a connection or a conduit. And resting above the chakra of the heart is Vishuddha, the throat, where we create sound. We have resonance. So let's chant one Om, using this Om sound, which is essentially the sound of all living matter. If you could hear the earth sounds like Om. So as you chant this sound, I invite you to use it as another connection, another conduit to our dear earth. Take a deep breath in. Exhale all the way. Breathe into Om. Surrender your head to your heart. Lower your hands, open your eyes. Good. Before we move into this month's intention setting, I'd like to start with a little bit of an invitation for any short sharing that anyone would like to do from your experience of Aries, third chakra, this courageous intentions we set on the last new moon. Did anyone bring anything that you would like to share?
I'll share something.
Thank you, Sunday.
Um, so I guess my intention was really, um, it really helped me throughout the month. And I've really seen some transformation in my life because of it. And it was, basically I am safe, I am capable, and have the capacity to create my own destiny. And I think it was just this idea of that I am safe. That was, I don't know, like it really shifted things for me. And I really did see some personal growth, with that being the seed of and the initiation, I think, of the growth. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes, that is exciting. It's what it's all about. So some transformation and safety. I mean that's at the root of everything, right? It's such a foundational need. I'm so glad that you shared that. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Did anyone else want to share from this last cycle?
Mine was being creative and joyful. And I reminded myself of it a few times throughout the month. And I did some felting. Yeah, this was just last month. I made some little critters for my nieces and nephews with felting, needle felting. And but then, because I'd done that before, I wrote a little story to go along with them. Like I wrote a book and made it so the kids could like add their own stories and pictures to each page. So I printed it off for them and had like, a few lines on each page with draw the picture of the animals. And so I'm pretty
Wow.
excited. They they got the package, but they didn't open it right away. So I think they're opening it today. I should hear more because they're homeschoolers. I think it's going to be pretty exciting to see what they do. But
Oh,
oh, that was
yeah.
pretty out of the norm for me. And it just totally came like I had to do story for these little critters. So
That's amazing. Yeah. So your intention was around creativity and then the flow
hmm yeah,
opened. And what a gift to your grandchildren. What a
yeah,
gift.
yeah, yeah. It's going to be fun. And
Oh,
it'll be a chapter book. So yeah, we'll have to felt some more critters to go with them. But
I think so. You're embarking on a critter journey with these ones.
yeah,
How
how
amazing.
fun.
Thank you. I love to write these down and kind of just hold them in our heart. Good. Okay, well, it sounds like we've got some powerful intention setters in here. So this month is an invitation to the heart. So we are in the heart chakra. Just that's what we're going through, right? Each one we're doing in different month. And I have loved to see how the chakras and the new moon um, have been aligning. And I'll reiterate that I am using the Western new moons or the Western zodiacs, which is not my norm. I usually like the Vedic ones. Um, but they all work. They all matter. They're all coming from the same source. So I think it matters less the details and which one we're choosing. It matters less than that we are showing up and that we are open to what's going on in the consciousness of all to see how it expresses itself in our own lives. So um, I think it's all beautifully valid and coming from the same source. So this month we are in a Taurus new moon, and what I do is I just look up the qualities of what Taurus means. So I discovered that it is an earth sign, that Taurus is about foundation and stability and security, being even making stability out of the sacred. And it is a time of tuning into your security. Pleasure and self worth are there as kind of foundational values. So it's so appropriate that we have, I don't think it's a coincidence that we have, Taurus and Earth Day right there around the same time, and things are in bloom. And I know I emailed y'all about using the rose today. Now, my meditation this morning gave me a little something different, why it's hard to plan ahead. But I just wanted to share with you a little story because today we're inviting something from the earth to we're going to invoke it in our heart so that something earthly or of the material kind of is an avenue to pour through our hearts with love back to the world. So we create this circuit, this communication. And just last week, I was having lunch outside on my patio with my dog. That's what we like to do when the weather's nice. And I saw these two cardinals out in the trees chirping in a way that I was like, oh, I think they're upset. And it was a mama bird and a daddy bird. And they're chirp, 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 chirping. And so after I finish, I think, oh my gosh, there's probably a nest nearby. And sure enough, in my knockout roses, right near where I was, there was this beautiful nest. And I looked in and there were little babies in there. Kind of, just I couldn't even count them. I didn't want to disturb them, but they were just little baby cardinals. And so I thought, okay, Leela, we need to leave them alone. And then another couple of days, I had a friend over and I showed her. And in the morning, they were there. And then when I wanted to show Nick in the evening, they were gone. They had served the nest had served its purpose and it flew. Now, a lot of you know me that we are becoming empty nesters this year. So this is really a meaningful expression of the earth talking to me. But we all have experiences of, birth, letting go, recreating nests. So anyway, I read about them. So here's the roses, because they have served their purpose, right? It was time for them to be cut back. So I cut back the roses and I saved the ones that were kind of still having a time. But cardinals abandon their nests and they abandon them for good. And so here, y'all. And there were little rose petals inside. When the babies left, there's 4 rose petals inside, just like the pink of their chest as their baby. Yeah. So, the earth speaks to us. We know this. The symbols around you can open your heart in a way that, if you're not paying attention, you just miss out. That's all. It's happening whether you tune in or not. But today, I invite us all to tune into the symbols that the earth that's just around you are offering you. And often cardinals are a symbol of those who have passed. And so ancestors come to us through what's going on in the earth around us. Source, God, spirit, everything can talk to us there. I know you know this, but it's exciting, I think, to be reminded on a monthly basis. So my intention for us today is to explore, your relationship between your heart and the physical realm around you. And we'll do a little bit of movement to get the body on board with opening to the elements of the heart. And then we'll do a little guided meditation. So I hope you have your journal nearby, because wisdom will pour through and we're going to give it a channel for this. Last week, we talked a lot about how to create an intention, that it is, there's a few, I'm going to call them rules. Actually, what would be better? Structure, right? Earth creates structure. So some structure to your intentions, and you don't need to worry about this. We'll work with them when we're finished, but as your intention emerges from your heart, which that's the idea, is we don't go in with our mind intention saying, this is what I want. We are listening. We are open to the wisdom that is within you, that is always there, but it's a little chattery outside. So the intentions and affirmations come through and we create the structure around them that they are positive. So it's not very beneficial to create a negative intention to say, I will no longer stub my toe, whatever it is. All your system hears is stub my toe, stub my toe, stub my toe. And I don't know why, but that is a wisdom that is in the meditation lineage, that thing needs to be in the affirmation, in the affirmative. Short and sweet is better than long, right? So the less wordy you can, maybe you can even get it down to the size that it takes to think in one breath cycle. And if it's 2 words, you can place it on the breath. And as Rumi says, it will become your life. So we want to distill it down to something small. And I think there's another rule in the affirmative, short and sweet. Oh, just strong languaging, right? So it's I open my heart rather than I am opening my heart. So it's just a stronger voice, okay? And if I am opening my heart speaks to you, then use that, right? Rules are made to be broken. So the way it works for your system is the way it works. These are suggestions from wisdom that's been handed down, but things can change. So let's begin. We're going to do a little bit of grounding in the body through our feet and a little bit of grounding stance. We'll do some chair pose, open the heart, use some breath and sound. So here you can place your things to the side, although if something brilliant comes to you, write it down, because it can. So for this portion, I'm going to pin myself so that I'm the only one on the recording. So you feel comfortable moving. You can choose to leave your camera on or off, however you stay connected. Okay, so it's just me now being recorded. And if you're sitting in a chair, then I encourage you to sit towards kind of the front edge of the seat. This way you have to use your core a little bit. You can also plant your feet a little bit deeper. And then bring your foot up and across and wiggle each toe. Okay, so grab that foot. If you're sitting on the floor, same thing. Twist and turn each toe. I like to think of the toes as kind of, in earth, the capillaries of a plant where the roots go out and they get to its nearest, just like the capillaries of our veins and arteries. So these are the capillaries of our body's prana. We want to go all the way to the edge. So once you've wiggled and turned each toe, do your best to get your fingers in between. Create some space. This is like when you buy a plant at the plant store and you take it out of its pot and its roots are kind of circling around and there's a root ball. We want to undo that a little bit. So in whatever way works for you, get some fingers and things between those toes and then squeeze the ball of the foot. So you're just giving a good squeeze here, creating some monkey feet in space. Good. Good. And then curl and spread your toes and feel them as they do. And then roll your ankle. So just sitting there rolling the ankle. Yeah, good. Good. And you can release that foot to the floor and then notice the difference, how your feet feel. Right? So prana is the life force. That's what makes these roses grow. It makes your breath move. Can you feel that in your foot? Okay, other side. Wiggle each toe. Twist and turn, twist and turn. Good. And then place your fingers between each toe. Doesn't take much, right? But it does require attention. So these are the kinds of things you can do them in front of the TV, and that is one way. Okay, so that's going to give you a physical stretch. But if you do it with intention and breath, then you get a little more lasting change, a little more connection. Just take a couple breaths with your gaze at the connection of your hand and foot, this miraculous body. Right? What a gift to be witnessed. Your hands and feet feel the same. And then release, curl and spread your toes. And then roll your ankle. We've kind of broken up the root ball. Let those capillaries go and release your foot to the floor. Notice if they feel closer to being the same. And now do pitter patter of your feet. You can hear your feet. You're shaking the muscles of your legs. Let things go loosey goosey. This is like breaking up the soil, right? Hilling the energy of your legs. Get them moving, get them grooving, get them shaking. As you get more embodied, you might want to sigh, right? It's a sign you're shifting into a calmer sense in the nervous system. Good. Let your feet be still. Take a deep cleansing breath. Okay. Now, if you want to stay seated, you can. You'll do a pelvic roll like this. Okay. But we need to stir up the pelvic bowl. So you can do it seated in your chair, or you can stand up and do the hula with your knees soft, big circles. Yeah, hopefully it feels good. Do this in a way that it feels good. And go the other way. Good. Then step your feet together-ish so that your heels are basically beneath your sitting bones. Okay, so feet wide as your shoulders, are a little bit narrower, heels beneath sitting bones. And we're going to work with grounding stance and chair pose to get a sense of being rooted and extended down and into the earth. Life tends to pull us up from the earth, and we're kind of walking on its surface. This is a chance to root down and out. I'm going to move back a little bit just so that everybody's on the same page here. Yeah, good. All right, so soften your knees, push down with your feet like you're trying to weigh more, and then press your feet gently away from each other. This is grounding stance. I borrow this from Anahata Judith. It's one of my favorites. So you push down and away. And just see if you can kind of feel prana and energy coming up through the legs. There's a softness in the front of the hip creases there. There's a softness to the backs of your knees. And all you're doing is isometrically pressing your feet down and away from each other. Can you keep that action? And move the upper body, inhaling, arms out and up, palms together. Exhaling, press your arms out and down. Inhale, arms out and up. So your legs are like roots digging into the earth. Exhale, press the arms down while your arms trace the path of the moon and the sun. Inhale, sunrise, moonrise. Exhale, sunset, moonset. Once again, inhale and exhale. Good. Your legs might even be getting tired. Mine are certainly fully grounded. Inhale, lift. And now as you exhale, turn one way as your arms come out and down. So now you're doing an upper body twist around the heart. Inhale, lift, coming through center. Exhale, twist the other way. Arms go out to 90 degrees. Inhale, lift. Turn, exhale, reach arms out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Once again, inhale, lift. And exhale, twist. Good. Inhale, lift. Now we move into crescent, really connecting with the moon. Reestablish your grounding stance. Exhale, crescent to one side. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale, rise. Exhale, crescent. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale, rise. Exhale, crescent. Inhale, rise. Exhale, crescent. Good. Inhale, rise. Interlace your fingers at the back of your skull for cosmic head rest. Lift the back of your skull. Head goes back into your hand as you open the elbows and lift your gaze. Now re-employ your grounding stance. Okay, we forget that we're rooted to the earth. The body forgets, the mind forgets. That's okay. Reestablish. So push your feet, press them away from each other. A nice deep breath in here, broadening, nice back bend. Let it feel good. Exhale, lower your chin, elbows come forward. Inhale, open. Now I invite you to invoke here a little bit of a blossoming of a flower, perhaps a rose or, I don't know, any kind of flower, but it's like the bud draws in. Now from your heart, lift, open the petals of your arms and let your face meet the sun. Inhale, as you exhale, turn in. All right, so again, we're coming to the rhythm of the earth. Here we are in a time of expansion and spring and blossoming. But we know that as you continue the cycle, it will again go to winter. Things will be pruned. Just a few more times here in your own way, connecting this cycle of earth blossom and fade. And come through neutral. Flex your wrists, push away 2 invisible walls. Just stretch and reach out. Push through the feet, lengthen through your crown, reach through the sides. Deep breath in and hold it. On your exhale, let everything go with sound. Ha! Good. All right, come back to your chair. And as you go, I invite you to just notice how you feel. Just a little bit of movement can create big change. Okay, I'd like to use this poem from Rumi as a little bit of inspiration today. I'm going to share my screen so that you can read it too if you're visual. If you prefer, you can also simply listen and let different words stand out to you. I'm going to read it twice with a little bit of time in between. Try not to let your brain go get things. Notice if your heart leaps or there's like an upswell of recognition in anything of this poem. Rumi was a mystic in the Muslim tradition who really has a relationship with all things of the earth as the beloved. So he recognizes beloved, source, God in the earth around us. So he's a great mystical poet for us to use today. So this is called The Rose. No, it's called What Was Said to the Rose. Here, I'll share. Okay. Roll your shoulders, shake your head, sit nice and tall. Again, either close your eyes to just listen or read along with me here. What was said to the rose that made it open was said to me here in my chest. What was told the cypress that made it strong and straight, what was whispered the jasmine, though it is what it is. Whatever made sugarcane sweet, whatever was said to the inhabitants of the town of Chigil in Turkestan that made them so handsome. Whatever lets the pomegranate flower blush like a human face, that is being said to me now. I blush. Whatever put eloquence in language, that's happening here. The great warehouse doors open. I fill with gratitude, chewing on a piece of sugar cane, in love with the one to whom every that belongs. I should close your eyes, let it resonate. What was said to the rose that made it open was said to me here in my chest. What was told the cypress that made it strong and straight? What was whispered the jasmine? So it is what it is. Whatever made sugarcane sweet, whatever was said to the inhabitants of the town of Chigil in Turkestan that made them so handsome. Whatever lets the pomegranate flower blush like a human face, that is being said to me now. I blush. Whatever put eloquence in language, that's happening here. The great warehouse doors open. I fill with gratitude, chewing a piece of sugar cane, in love with the one to whom every that belongs. there was a part of this poem that spoke to your heart, an image, a word, a leap of recognition. I invite you to have a sense of that, a placement of that in your heart center. Anahata, the heart chakra, is the gateway, the upper and lower chakras of ourselves and our feelings, our ability to give and receive love. Now we'll infuse this sensation within, this imagery within, with some sound and pranayama. It's okay if nothing has come to you yet. I invite you to trust the process. So with your feet pressing into the earth so that your frequency resonates with that of the earth and her cycles. We'll use the inhale 3 times, really filling up as if your heart is a rose opening to this intention or to this image. Yourself is opening, opening, opening. Then as you exhale, we'll chant the sound of Om, again, reigniting that conduit between your heart and the earth. So that there's a conversation there. So 3 sips of breath to come in, slowly filling yourself up, feeling that inner expansion. Then a long exhale on the sound of Om, creating a gateway, a passageway, a connection between you and the voice of nature. Take a nice deep breath in here. Exhale all the way. Breathe in 3 parts. Inhale 1. Inhale 2. Inhale 3. Really fill up. Chant as you let it go. Oh. Inhale in 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. Chant to release. Oh. Inhale 1, 2. Really fill up 3. Oh. Good. Keep going on your timing. Use the breath and sound. Please give yourself 2 more rounds. And just sit with the feeling. And go into deep listening. As Rumi says, what was said to the rose that made it open was said to me here in my chest. Listen to your heart's deepest longing. What would your heart like to tell you about love, foundation, connection, anything that your heart has to say? Listen deeply, and whenever you feel ready, then begin to make some notes. But let it come from within you. After the writing feels complete, you might consider kind of winnowing it down to a phrase, a mantra, something that you can bring with you as a little nugget to place on your breath through this whole new moon cycle, keeping you connected to your intention, the intention given to you by your heart. We'll give it about another minute, but don't let me rush you. You want to keep going, keep going. Good. So once that feels complete, it's nice to just take a moment of gratitude. So you might rest your hands on your heart, somewhere on your body that feels appropriate. Right? You know the phrase, the issues are in the tissues, but so is your wisdom. So I invite you to take a couple breaths of deep gratitude for the wisdom that is within you, the wisdom that surrounds you, and the wisdom that supports you. Okay. So we have some time here to share, if you like. I think it's helpful. Actually, what I'm going to do is I stop the recording at this point so everyone feels open to share without, well, not without, just within this circle. So for those of you enjoying the recording, thank you so much. I hope maybe you can join us live sometime and hear the beautiful intentions that come from this. Otherwise, I'm here if you have questions. So have a beautiful day. I'll see you next time.